Hello, my name is Matthew Glienke. I'll be your next speaker.
Sorry, that was not the beginning.
Perfectly fine. Are all my judges ready?
Yeah.
Okay, got my timer? Do you ever ask yourself what could have happened if you had decided to take that one chance? Our life is a series of choices. From choosing the toys from the store as a child, to picking what sport we want to play, or where we go to college as a teenager, to who we marry or what job we take on as an adult. But what if? Could you have taken a risk that would have changed your life forever? Today I decided to take a risk by wearing this suit, so no, it wasn't a hand-me-down that I was forced to wear, and for the first time ever, you may have to ponder what you put in the professional appearance box on your ballot. Meanwhile, my competitors that saw me in the suit in the hallway are thinking, ha, at least I beat that guy. Whether or not you think the suit is a good risk or a bad risk is completely up to you. The definition of risk is the potential of losing something of value. Value can include social status, emotional well-being, physical health, financial wealth. As we go through life, God gives us opportunities to take smart risks, to put ourselves outside of our comfort zone, which can lead to failure after failure, but have the possibility of leading to success after success. Today I want to excite something inside of you, a desire to take a smart risk, because the beneficial outcome it can have on you or someone that you care about. Some of the greatest people, inventions, historical events have all started with risks. Fired from a newspaper company at 18 years old because he lacked imagination, he lacked creativity. You may recognize his name as Walt Disney. And if you ask me, Disneyland is a pretty creative place. Cut and kicked out of his own company at 30 years old, only to come back and lead it into a new era of technological developments. Steve Jobs, the founder of Apple, which produces iPhones, iMacs, iPads, iWatches, for all we know, probably the iCar pretty soon. Cut from his high school basketball team. This boy went home, shut his door, locked it, and he cried. This boy was Michael Jordan, who went on to become a basketball legend. Rejected from Decca recording studios because they lacked potential in the show business. The Beatles, one of the most influential and famous bands our world has ever seen. And last but not least, rejected from a Christian youth organization because he was too worldly and almost kicked out of the Christian college. Billy Graham has reportedly brought 1.2 million people to Christ, and according to Gallup polls, is one of the most influential men of our time. So what am I trying to say? What do all of these people have in common? They decided to take a risk. Regardless of what everyone else around them said, they had confidence in themselves, and they changed the world in ways never even thought possible. Now, unlike the risks I just mentioned, obviously bad risk or foolish risks exist also. For example, trying to cross a 4-lane freeway with a blindfold on is a bad risk. Furthermore, trying to walk across a tightrope for the first time ever in your entire life, multiple stories off the ground, also with a blindfold on, is a bad risk. Pretty much it ends with the words, with a blindfold on. You may want to reevaluate that risk 1 or 2 more times. Don't risk a lot with the potential of only gaining a little. Because then you'll find yourself taking risks at your own safety, at the safety of others. You'll find yourself picking up the shattered remains of your dreams. Risks should include some sort of logic and reason. On the other extreme, people influenced not to take risks have grown up in environments teaching risks is always careless, always at the safety of someone when we can't live in a safety zone our entire life. As John A. Sheed says, an American novelist, ships are safe in the harbor. That's not what ships are meant for. So what do we learn by taking risks? How do we benefit by taking risks? First, by taking risks, you're able to learn new aspects about yourself, about the world, maybe strengths and weaknesses that you never knew you had. If you never step up to the challenge, you might find yourself in a life that bores you, with no dynamic, no color. Second, by taking risks, you're given the ability to overcome your fears. Life doesn't come with any guarantees, and that's what makes it scary. But that's where we learn our confidence and our courage. Third, by taking risks, you're given the ability to learn from your failures. I hate to break it to you, but risks don't always end in success. Thomas Edison was in the process of creating the light bulb and had tried over 9,000 different ways, all that had failed. A reporter came up to him and asked if any time during this process have you felt like a failure. Thomas Edison responded with, why would I feel like a failure? I now know 9,000 different ways that a light bulb doesn't work. Success is nearly in my grasp. 1,000 tries later, Thomas Edison went on to create the light bulb. Fourth and finally, by taking risks, you're able to achieve your goals and aspirations. Success just doesn't land in your lap. You can't expect to play it safe all the time and achieve your ambitions. No. You have to go outside of your comfort zone, step by step, risk by risk, to find and follow what you're passionate about. Now you could be sitting here thinking, what could have been? What could I have done? You can take the opportunities that still exist to add something to your story of life. Because you'll find as your story wraps up and your story closes, the things that you regret the most are the things that you didn't do. And I don't know what risk looks in your life, but you don't need to agonize over every single decision. It's the big opportunities that involve risk that are going to leave you standing in your tracks. For my mom, it was the risk to homeschool me and my 3 sisters when everybody else around her was telling her not to. For my dad, it was starting his own financial firm, switching completely his career when the company he just came from went bankrupt. For my grandparents, it's the risk to move from their safe environment, their comfortable home that they've been at for 40 years, to move closer to their grandchildren and their relatives. And for me, it's the very scary risk of sharing Jesus Christ with my best friend, even though he may think of me differently, that he'll reject me. So you're presented with the opportunity to take a risk or to play it safe. What are you going to choose? As I talked about good and bad risks, how risks influence us in everyday life, you may not see this suit as a good representation of what I'm trying to get across, but I would like to disagree. I don't want you to remember me, which would be nice, or the suit necessarily. I want you to remember the idea behind the suit. Because as crazy as I may look in this suit, if I'm able to motivate you, inspire you to take a risk, even though you may fail, then I'd be willing to do it over and over again. Because the biggest risk you'll ever take in your entire life is not taking any risk at all. Thank you very much.